Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there's not on many opportunities I stand in this house and I feel emotional. But this morning, Mr. Speaker, with this motion, I have feelings of jubilation, feelings of excitement, feelings of satisfaction, Mr. Speaker, because this motion before us to borrow 1.203 million US dollars, Mr. Speaker, for the Passias Community Water Supply Project. This is something, Mr. Speaker, that is just indicative of what the St. Lucia Labour Party and what this government stands for. And Mr. Speaker, I stand here as the first parliamentary rep for Mico North under the ticket of the St. Lucia Labour Party. And the problem that we are about to solve because of this motion, Mr. Speaker, is one that has been in existence for about 40 years or over 40 years in the community. And under the stewardship and under the watch of several other parliamentarians, Mr. Speaker, there was no need, or they did not see the need to address such a critical problem in Mico North. Mr. Speaker, the Passias Water Supply Project. This is going to benefit the people of Pralin, the people of Mamiku, Loba and Lao, the Monipo Village, Grass Street, Passias, St. Mary, La Pointe, Cooley Town, Marguerite, Vietnam. Mr. Speaker, we're speaking about more than half of the community. Yeah. We're speaking about more than half of the Mico North constituency. And Mr. Speaker, you ask, how did we get to the stage where we are today? Over 4 decades ago, Mr. Speaker, the Passias Water Supply Project commenced and completed. And this project has seen Hurricane Allen, more than one. It has seen Hurricane, the Christmas trough, Mr. Speaker, Hurricane Debbie, I think in 1994, I was still a little boy. Hurricane Thomas in 2010. I had to look at the technology that was used in that particular system, Mr. Speaker. This system works on gravity. The catchment for this current system, to be able to get to this catchment, Mr. Speaker, it would take, on average, after you drive, you would have to park and walk for in excess of 3 hours to just get to the catchment. And on days, or if you have hurricanes, and you have difficulty, it becomes very difficult for Wasco to be able to access the areas because of how remote it is. And this has caused problems throughout the community. And I know that you have people like Ms. Tessa and who would give me leaks 24/7, Mr. Speaker, because they believe that it's long overdue and that we really should have, government should really take some form of intervention as it relates to Wasco and the water supply in Passias. Because water is not something, Mr. Speaker, that is a luxury. Water is a necessity. The slogan says it, water is life. And when you have schools, you have elderly persons who rely on water. And we live in a rural area. Mico North is a rural area, Mr. Speaker. We're not the community where everybody can afford a 1,000 or 2,000 gallon tank for storage. And even that, Mr. Speaker, does not suffice, because we've had on numerous occasions, too numerous to mention, Mr. Speaker, when the water supply, when we don't have water in the taps in Mico North, it goes on for 3, 4, 5, 6 days, sometimes 8 days, sometimes 10 days, Mr. Speaker. And even if you have the comfort of a 1,000 gallon tank, Mr. Speaker, within 3 or 4 days, there is no water. And even the remedial measures that Wasco try, where they pass with the water trucks, Mr. Speaker, this in itself provides its own challenges, because the truck can only go certain places. So, for instance, the people on the base, those people inside by Furniture City, they would not be able to get any water because the Wasco trucks are not able to enter or access these areas. And these people are denied water, notwithstanding the fact that they continue to pay their water bills like all the people in Castries, Vieux-Fort, Cap Estate, and the likes. And Mr. Speaker, it had to take a caring government. It had to take a prime minister who understands what it is not to have running water at your home. It had to take a prime minister who listens, Mr. Speaker. And even before I thank the prime minister, Mr. Speaker, I like to give Jack their jacket, Mr. Speaker. So I will not make it seem like nothing was done over the time that the former administration was in government. There was a replacement tank, a bigger tank placed at Roba. There was and they also did some rehabilitative works on the tank in St. Mary. That's St. Mary, Pastor St. Mary. So there was some works done, Mr. Speaker, but that in itself did little to nothing to help solve the problem of the water. And it just shows, Mr. Speaker, that the current system is one that can no longer, it has met its capacity. Currently, Mr. Speaker, we have in excess of 4,700 persons living within the areas that I just mentioned. And Wasco has, I think, Mr. Speaker, over 2,000 water connections within that area. So when you have in excess of 2,000 people, Mr. Speaker, 2,000 homes without water for a period of 8 days, imagine the Pastures Combined School, the Emmanuel SDA School, the preschools within the vicinity, Mr. Speaker, and these children have had to stay home. Myra Sachs daycare. These children have had to stay home, Mr. Speaker, because for days and days there is no running water in the tap. So as parliamentary representative, Mr. Speaker, I want to express my gratitude to the Prime Minister. And he said it. I came and I asked for it because I felt the pressure, Mr. Speaker. I always accede to the request of my constituents. And at every meeting that we have, and even the last community meeting that I had, although it had nothing to do with Wasco, we were speaking about the Wen playing field and the cemetery. Questions were raised about the water shortages that we experience in Miku North, especially in the northern end of the constituency, and persons really wanted to know what it is that, or what is the plan that we have. And I'm happy to say that we don't have a plan, but we're taking action. And the Prime Minister has seen it fit. And Mr. Prime Minister, I want the records to show that I want to express my full gratitude to you and to the other cabinet colleagues for seeing the need. And these are projects, Mr. Speaker. These are not projects that we are going to so key gain Kesa. There is gain in that project, Mr. Speaker. I can tell you that there is a lot of gain in that project, because right now, what this is going to do is going to really help solve that problem. And I can tell you, when I do my community tours, my house visits, everywhere in the community, somebody has a complaint about Kitel Zoka about Glossa, Kisak Zoka about situation of Glossa. And I know people like Pepe and Alan and those other Wasco, these individuals who work for Wasco within the community, they come under a lot of pressure. At times, persons would even insult them, and they have to take the blows for Wasco. But we have to be honest and say that the current system, it cannot supply, it has outlived its usefulness, if you want to put it that way, Mr. Speaker. The capacity at the time when this system was set up, there was not so much development in the community. We've seen so much expansion. The Wen, quite a bit of expansion have happened in the Wen area, in the Mamiku area, and because it has become very expensive, Mr. Speaker, because of the amount of pressure that we're putting on the current Wasco system, it has become a challenge for Wasco to even allow persons to put in the necessary infrastructure for individuals when they want to go into land expansion or to prepare their land for sale. So I know there are persons like Octavian and others who would welcome such an initiative. But I think one of the persons who would be the happiest is Ms. Tessa Mangal, because she has even gone to social media, Mr. Speaker, to express her feelings about the lack of water in the community. And she is someone who has a water tank, and when she complains, her water tank has already run dry. So you can imagine how persons who don't have access to a water tank, what type of situation that they have to endure. Et je voulais dire, ça me dit là, pas toi, Mr. Speaker, parce que là, chaque monde qui a écouté qui sorti mon pot, et expression, c'est plus gros citoyen. Et que vous voulez savoir, chaque fois que vous jouez les chimères, vous voulez savoir qui ça nous a fait avec la situation, nous toujours pas néglo, si commune. Et le système là, nous ni pour à présent, Mr. Speaker, il y a 4 chimères. Le système ça, ni pour supporter Jean Poilin, Jean Mamicou, Jean Moupo, Jean Grass Street, Jean La Pointe, Jean Vietnam, Jean Marguerite, Jean Sainte-Marie, Jean Loba. Et puis, situation c'est une que tant que qu'il a prise, il est trop petit, et puis il y a high pressure. Il est trop petit pour tout le monde. Et puis ça, il a fait, c'est la panique et puis côté à catchment là, il y a prise. Pour y joindre là, ça c'est côté machine passe à aller. So moun, la pluie tombe, fait descendre, il a barré, là n'a pas qu'on go straight, il a barré pour yo Haïti, yo ni pour faire ça par la main, ça c'est pas un bagage qui a fait par quoi, so Jean Wasco ni pour joindre manière pour marcher là et après yo about 3 éditeurs pour arriver au catchment là pour tirer. Et puis ça a fait la situation que délai après combien de jours pour nous savoir joindre gloire cité nous. Et délai nous joindre gloire, il y a un côté qui a joindre c'est ration yo ka ration gloire. Et bien délai gloire qui a venu deuxième moitié, les a fait troisième moitié, la panique gloire encore. Et puis ça a fait toute l'autre qualité problème en commune. Il a fait une situation que l'école ni pour fermer parce que c'est maman là passe à l'école parce que toilette yo panique l'eau après vite là, yo panique l'eau pour yo ça laver la main yo. C'est tichani pour vivre yo caillou et a mis les parents bas pressure parce que yo ni pour waiter puis c'est maman là parce que yo pas savoir c'est maman là l'école parce que l'école fermée. Et ça a fait délai ça a aller pour délai 8 jours, 9 jours monsieur explique. Nous pas ça contenir con. Et puis la tenue même gouvernement là avant moi problème ça c'est pas un problème qui commence avant hier et bien hier problème ça c'est un problème Mr. Speaker depuis moi même à l'école nous ni problème ça un micro problème ça c'est un coup combien de fois parlementaire pas venir yo jouer un problème là et puis yo quitter là parce que yo gagnent même si ça il a affecté tout le monde pour une raison et pour l'autre mais pas ça pour qui raison mais il pas nécessaire pour ça dealer puis problème ça that nous tenir asi carré pour glo en Mykonos mais le gouvernement ça et puis premier ministre ça il est important monsieur speaker moi aller moi dire comme ça that moi ba pressure les moi aller faire les moi aller caille ay ko la porte moun ay parler puis yo tout monde ka aller about situation gloire. Et puis moi dis n'a parlé puis premier ministre puis n'a qui ça fait et puis moi parler puis premier ministre puis parti catcher les deux fois il dit moi qui ça il a fait et puis pas j'ai longtemps après me fini parler puis premier ministre il dit mais comme ça date nous ka aider Wasco sur la Wasco ka ça aider ces gens Mykonos et puis moi voulais oui merci premier ministre pour qu'avoir nécessaire pour qu'avoir important Mr. Speaker pour mener motion ça d'ouvre kay concitoyen et pour qu'avoir nécessaire pour aider gens pour et puis glo parce que glo c'est pas bagaille date nous ça fait style et puis nous briser glo pour nous vivre glo c'est la vie et puis pour qu'avoir important comme dit la tena chaque monde avant nous quitter là et que pas nécessaire pour mener et bien pour improve système là quitter de mon repos et comme dit yo te fait des petits bagages yo mène tank 100,000 gallons là-bas et puis il fait un travail à sous tank là qui était 7 maris mais ça pas assez parce que système là qui a mené gloire tank là c'est même système là qui ni problème là mais ça nous a fait ordre c'est nous a ranger système là et ce système là nous a ranger là nous système là Wasco kay mettre à présent c'est yon ko yo kay ni ça a créé un pompe système il pas kay carry là sous gravity et puis système là kay à côté si la ni glo si la mauvais temps Wasco il pas kay pour Wasco débé 3 jours pour arriver pour aller pour nettoyer Wasco kay ça drive pour arriver là et puis kay ça ranger bagay là so nous ka expect from les l'argent ça a dépassé et puis les systèmes là improve nous ka expect that temps nous ka espérer visiteur nous ka espérer après mauvais temps pour nous englober cité nous that ça kay descend et puis nous avons joué un peut-être 2, 3 éditeurs, 4 éditeurs, 5 éditeurs, après Google descend. Parce que nous passons à SP Mykonos pour 8 jours pour Glo. Expressement, nous avons communauté commune qui rural, nous avons commune c'est pas tout le monde qui a l'argent pour acheter tank. Et puis c'est les gens qui ont tank là. Ils can still complain that tank, you can chance vide avant Wasco vie la gloire. So, Mr. Speaker, I will say that I can support the motion, sir. I want to express my full support for this motion, Mr. Speaker. I know that the people of Mykonos are very excited with this particular motion. And it just goes to show, Mr. Speaker, the general position of this government and the Central Labour Party. This government is one that listens to the cries of people. It's one that does not just listen, but acts and puts policies in place, takes action to bring relief to people. And whereas, Mr. Speaker, you see, you would have, I see social media posts about myself saying I have secret the parliamentary rep and the people of Labour having secret meeting in Mykonos, and they want to know what the secret meeting is about. And I can tell you what the secret meeting is about, Mr. Speaker. The secret meeting is about ensuring that we have a water supply for the people of Monipo, Pasias, Lapwet. The secret meeting is about ensuring that the jetty for Mykonos is delivered. The secret meeting is about ensuring that yesterday the fishermen of Mykonos had a fat deployed and that they get the same courtesies extended to them as other people. The secret meeting was to ensure that the when playing field, Mr. Speaker, can start the secret meeting. And so if they think it's a secret, either it's public. The meeting is to ensure that the cemetery in Mykonos and the expansion, the cemetery expansion project is going to take off, and that the people of Mykonos are going to get, and Monipo are going to get a cemetery that they deserve. So this is what the secret meetings that I'm having is about, Mr. Speaker. So they don't need to come. They can ask me and I'll tell them what the meetings. I'll even give them the minutes of the meetings. It's public for everybody to see. And they just start to see secret meeting. If it's secret meeting they're looking for, Mr. Speaker, it's obvious that we can see a bit of discomfort in the community. A lot of people going around trying to see what can they do, but it's too late, Mr. Speaker. Mykonos is with the Central Labour Party, and Mykonos is staying with the Central Labour Party, Mr. Speaker. And under my watch, Mykonos say ça nous. Et puis, you pay monter, you pay descend, you pay faire tout le monde you voulez, Mr. Speaker. Mykonos can wait ça nous. And I've made it my responsibility and my duty, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that I continue to remain with the people of Mykonos. And I continue to stay with them, I continue to support them, I continue to ensure that their voices are heard. And it's because I make it my responsibility to make sure that their voices are heard. Today, we are able to come to this honorable house, Mr. Speaker, with this motion to bring relief to several thousands of people in the community. And these are the type of projects, Mr. Speaker, that really makes me feel good as a parliamentary rep, Mr. Speaker. You sit down and you see these children who are the parents' complaints, Mr. Speaker. Even on social media, they go and they tell them about the children can't go to school, Mr. Speaker. And come in here and you know, oh boy, once and for all, we maybe can bring this problem to a halt, and children are not going to be denied school days because of lack of water at the schools. And even if the school, with the current system that they have and with the current storage facilities that they have, Mr. Speaker, about a day, the water tanks at the school last merely a day. So once the water shortage extends or prolongs beyond a day, then school must close. So, and I know that the Minister of Education will say a few words on how this project will also benefit him as Minister of Education, because I know he too comes under some pressure from the teachers and even parents as it relates to school closing in my community. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that I'm very happy that today we are in this house with this motion. I know, as I said earlier, the people of Mykonos are also very happy, and today is a very historic day for us, and that is what Mykonos is about. We continue to make history in Mykonos. The representation has been one of that kind, Mr. Speaker, where people are active participants in what happened in the community. We don't impose our will on them. We listen to them and we deliver on what they request. And that is one of the things that they've requested. So to be able to come here today and to be able to deliver on that, Mr. Speaker, it gives me great pleasure as the parliamentary rep to be able to stand. So I want to say thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the Prime Minister for ensuring that we delivered for the people of Mykonos. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.